is a tutorial where I'm gonna be kind of showing everybody how to build or how to use every one of these devices, and it is every device in the devices tab except for I don't have this one or this one. I don't have this one, and I think that's all I don't have. And the reasons for that is because I don't actually know what those three do. I'm still learning on those ones, but yeah. But we will start with the player reference, and this is basically, I mean, you could use it for like different things, but it's basically just a hologram of a character which you can use to either show the person with the most score, kills, or deaths, I think, right? Yeah, okay. But it's mainly for, like, I guess 1v1 maps to show how many kills they have. And yeah. And then this one right here, it's just a player spawn. It's like okay, these two are the same as these. That's why I didn't add them in, because these are basically just one tile placeable spots like this. That's it. Or these you can place anywhere, and you can rotate in any direction and stuff like that, you know. Where these can only go on one tile. This is a checkpoint. With the white is a checkpoint, and with the orange it's a player spawn. But they're basically the same thing, so I'm just gonna do these. But for the player spawn, you basically just place it wherever you want the person to spawn, and then you can choose the team you want to spawn here, enabled during what phase, or you can make it primary or secondary, or however you pronounce that. I honestly don't know. You can use the silent start, which basically means like as soon as you start the game, then you'll spawn here. Or if it's only like pre-game only, which is where I am at right now, like before you actually start the game. Visible during games, and then you can do like enable and disable when you're streaming from certain channels, or when the player spawns on it, then it goes to a different channel. And then for the player checkpoint, you can do certain teams like the other one, and visible and all that stuff, and you can make it so that when you step on it, then does it reset your inventory, yes or no, or you can do like the activation effects, and then once again the enable disable when receiving from certain channels. When stepped on, which is the activate, then transmit on a certain channel, or on first activate, like per player, meaning like each player separately on there. On the first time that one player steps on it, transmit to a certain channel, or on the exact first time anyone steps on it, it transmits to a certain channel, which is this one. And you can do that stuff. For this, which is a game end device, or end game device, sorry, you can make it so that when you trigger a certain button, then it ends the game. Like what to end, either ends game completely or it ends the round. And then the winning team, you can choose that, or the activating team wins, kind of like maybe like a race, you know, the first person to make it to the button, and then when the button when they press the button, it triggers this and that ends the game. Then just do like activating team, and then like the first team, or if everyone's on separate teams, the first player to get to it, they win the game. And this is when you win, it will say something like good game, I guess, right? let's say something like that. And then defeat, like better luck next time, or you can do like enabled at certain phases, or only certain team can activate it. When activate when receiving from certain channel, enable when receiving, and disable, like all that stuff. You make it like from a certain channel, or yeah. This you can do out of all these different sounds, and the sound distance or something, which can go from very low, low, medium, loud, or very loud, near, medium, far, very far, or whole island. And then re-trigger behavior is like this. You hear that? Want to hit again? It doesn't work, so if you hit restart, then every time I hit it, it will play. And then enable during phases, there's none, all, pre-game and gameplay, activate and hit, yes, no, whatever, and then visible in game, and then activate and receiving from, which is like, we'll just say receiving from 1. We'll just say I press a button, transmits to 1, then it's gonna play the sound. And then enable and like disable and all that stuff. Radio, it will like this is just music only, or well, not just music, I guess, because there's like ambient creaking, and there's a ton of those, and crickets and drips and fire and wind and floor, and there's different sounds as well, but these will non-stop be playing kind of like music in the background. Like this will do that, and play during waiting for players, play during game countdown, play during gameplay, play during round end, play during game end, audio distance, volume, visible in game, visualization, play when receiving from, stop when receiving from. And for the explosive device, you could do certain health from 1. You could do certain health from 1, 25, 50, 75, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 1000, 2000, 5000 to indestructible. And display damage numbers, blast radius goes from 20.25 to 5. And then player damage, ignore team for damage, structure damage, damage indestructible buildings, which basically means if you have like building damage or environmental damage off, it will, like, whether it will still deal damage or not. Knockback, blast line of sight, explode on proximity, proximity delay, ignore team for proximity, time to detonation, from game start, play audio effects, range visualization, visible during games, collision during games, collides with, show health bar style, hide HUD icon, requires line of sight, HUD icon identifier, team visibility, friendly icon text, neutral, hostile, HUD text, size, play audio, explode when receiving from, turn on visibility when receiving from, turn off visibility when receiving from, and when exploded, transmit on. And yeah. And then the creature manager is basically customizing the creatures, basically. So you can choose like what you want to customize, what type of creature. Then you can choose the health and how much score they give you, and the score distribution, which is like divide by damage, which means whoever did the most damage gets the most points, or divide evenly, or all to killer. Damage to player, which goes from 0 to 500, excuse me. Damage to environment, movement speed, very slow is just very slow, I guess, and same as slow. Default is like a player's walking speed, and fast is the same speed as a player. and then very fast is faster than player. And then this, which is the creature spawner, it allows you, well, the goes from cube random, which is this one, like this type, I should say. Or there's Fiend, Red Fiend, Brute, Red Brute, Ranged, Mega Brute, Ice Fiend, Major Ice Fiend, Ice Brute, Major Ice Brute, Ice Ranged, Poison Fiend, Exploding Brute, Ice Random, Rushing Random, which I'm not actually sure what this is, and then all random. Number of creatures that will spawn at one time, total spawn limit, which is like in total how many are allowed to spawn out of it, and then wave timer, activating range, I like to put that at max. Despawn range, I like to put that at max as well. Despawn type, distance to enemy, then there's despawn type, which can be distance to enemy or the spawner. Invincible spawner, spawner visibility, damage spawner after spawn, destroy structures on spawn, spawn effects visible. And there's max spawn distance, spawn through walls, preferred spawn location, enable that game start, enable when receiving from, disable when receiving from, eliminate creatures when receiving from, destroy spawner when receiving from. And then there's a creature placer, which is more like just placing one at a time. We have the HUD message device, which you write what you want it to appear, and then who can see it. So there's all through every team, or triggering player, friendlies, or enemies. And then time from round start, I like to, if you want it to display from like a certain channel, then put that to off. And then display time, text style, which is basically colors and size. And then message priority, normal or critical. Normal basically makes it so that it has to, like if there's two at once, right, then the first one to appear or the second one to like pop up won't show on your screen until the first one, like the time, display time goes down, like off, right? And then it will show it, where critical will make it so that if one's on your screen but then another one appears but that one's on critical, it's going to push it out of the way and show that one and like turn off the other one basically. And then there's play sound placement, which is bottom center or top center or center right, and visible during games, show when receiving from, hide when receiving from. And yeah, we can enable the on game start, and then team icon, I like to put that for none, and then icon color, text, we'll just say tutorial zone. There, tutorial zone. Text color will be red, I guess, that you can choose. And then show on which map, and there's either mini map or overview, and then or both. And then enable during phase, or enable when receiving from, sorry, and then disable when receiving from. And then as you can see now that I made that, oops, and then it says tutorial zone. Alright, for the billboard, a lot of people already know how to use this. There's text size, extra large, and stuff like that. And there's what you want it to say. We'll just say hi. And then there's text justification. There's left. There's centered. And there's right. So that's where it is placed on it. Text font, notice-ons or notice-hands, I don't know how to pronounce that. Burbank and Roboto, or Roboto, I don't know how to pronounce that, sorry. There's outline, light, or thick. And then there's a shadow, so none, or lower right, and then left. And it just kind of makes it look like it's popping out of the board, I guess. And then view distance, show border, which is the green part, like that. And then there's text color, let's do green. Background color, which is the black part there, we'll put that to like clear or something, it's just floating words. Enable area phase, set text visible and hidden when receiving from. And yeah. And then there's a item spawner, which you can do items respawn. There's random spawns, visible, or random basically makes so if you put multiple items in it, right, then no will spawn them in the order that you placed them, but random will make it so it randomly chooses a weapon out of it to spawn, or no repeats, which means it will never spawn the same item twice. There's visible during games, time before first spawn, which goes from instant to 5 minutes on both of them, instant and 5 minutes. Wood cost, stone cost, metal cost, bonus ammo for weapons, run over pickup, which means when you step on it above it will like automatically pick up. Item visibility, 1 is basically the size of the gun that hovers above it. Enable that game start, continues to spawn items. This will make it so that, like, if you have multiple guns, it will just start shooting them out of it like it's like its own gun. It's just gonna be shooting them out. And then enable when receiving from, disable when receiving from, cycled to next weapon when receiving from, spawn item when receiving from, when items picked up, transmit on. Alright, and then for the vending machine, you drop the gun you want in it that you want to buy. There can be up to 3, but if you want to, so you have to pay, like, say, gold for like a zombies map or something, then you're only allowed to have 1 gun in it at a time. So just drop the gun in. And then, I mean, a lot of you guys probably know how this works because they used to be in the map back in chapter 1. But then you hit it and it switches. Like that. It is first item resource type, and if you just keep it on all or whatever, you can make it so it doesn't cost anything, but that's your choice. And then the stone cost, second item, third item, bonus ammo for weapons. Enable that game start, interaction time, which is how long it takes to actually get the gun. Enable when receiving from, disable when receiving from, spawn item when receiving from, cycle the next weapon when receiving from, when item spawn, transmit on. Then this item granter is basically when receiving from a certain channel, it will grant a player a weapon or whatever you put in it. So there's enable when game start. Receiving players goes from all players, triggering player, triggering team, or 1 through 16. Then on grant action, clear inventory, clear items, clear resources, or keep all, meaning when you get granted it, what will it clear or keep. And then there's grant current item, grant all items in it. Then grant condition, always, only if empty, and only if space, and stuff like that. So like, say you put like a gun there, but you already have 5 guns. If you put it on only if space, it won't grant it because you already have like all your slots taken up. Or if you drop a gun, then it will grant it. And then there is only if empty, meaning if nothing's in your inventory, it will grant it. But that is it. But you also have to trigger it, so it's only going to give you this stuff when it's triggered if you have nothing in your inventory. And then there's always, but if you have like all your slots are used, then it's just going to drop the gun on the ground in front of you. Grant uncycle, quit granted item, which was like basically what slot it's going to put it in. And then remove item on grant, so like remove it out of the device. And then give it extra ammo, cycle behavior, enable when receiving from, disable when receiving from, grant item when receiving from, cycle the previous item when receiving from, cycle the next weapon when receiving from, cycle the random item when receiving from, restock items when receiving from, when item granted, transmit on. And then And for the elimination manager, there is basically, so like when you get a kill, it will transmit on a certain channel, or when you get killed or something like that. And then for this, which is a trick tile, you can make it so that like when receiving from a certain channel, it will reset and like appear again, or it will hide this wall so you can walk through it, stuff like that. And then there's enable at game start, safe team, meaning like that won't trigger it. And then there's safe class, which is the class that won't trigger it. Activation delay, I like to put that on none. And then activating game start, trigger on player contact, meaning if I walk up to it and like bump it like that, will it trigger? And then there's trigger feedback, so like if you did have a delay, then what will it do before it disappears? Like the bounce and color means like it will kind of like bounce up and down a little bit and start flickering red. Or there's bounce only, or color only, meaning it will start flashing red only. And then there's none. Trigger when receiving from, reset when receiving from, meaning, or trigger will make it so that the wall disappears, or floor, or ceiling. And reset when receiving from means it will reappear. Enable, disable when receiving from. Enable when player contact trigger, meaning like it will then enable it to be triggered when someone runs into it when receiving from a certain channel. Disable player contact, which is the disabling that effect. And then when triggered, transmit on. When activated, transmit on. And then this is like when the wall or floor or any ceiling has been removed, it will transmit on a certain thing. Or this is when triggered, so like say I had a 5-second delay, right? Then I could do, and then you touch it, like when it, or press a button, we'll just say to trigger it, then it has been triggered. So then we'll make it say like on your screen with a HUD message device, I'll have it say like a player has triggered the south door or something like that, and then you must wait 5 seconds or however long I put the delay. And then when it is activated, which means when the wall disappears, then I could have it say something like the south door is now open or something, you know? And then the matchmaking portal is you just enter an island code, but when you enter it, you have to do like, well, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have to do a dash, or else it won't work like this. 1, 1, 1, 1, dash 1, 1, 1, 1, dash 1, 1, 1, 1, which is actually I think one of the first maps ever. But use island title text, or set island title text visibility, set matchmaking text visibility, set island details visible or visibility, and then code override allowed, meanings is someone allowed to change the code that is in it. And then enable audio, enable as art, which is like just for looks, there's nothing special, kind of like if I put a yes, then gotta wait. There we go. Alright, but then enabled as art is just for like looks, right? So there's this teleporter, which you change, like for the teleporter group, this is what it belongs to. But then there's the teleport target, which is what it will send it, the player to. Like we'll put this to A and this to none, right? So this one's going to send someone to A, but it belongs to nothing. This one belongs to A and will send players to nothing. So I enter this, doesn't do anything, but I enter this, it's going to send me back here. This is just like, if you go like this, right, I break that, it's just going to break, right? But this will allow you to build in the air. This, the air vent, it just kind of launches you in the air and stuff. And then you can choose enable during phases, knock up force. If you put it like mega high, then mega high will like knock you way up here, right? Or you can put it to like low or medium or something. And there's none, low, medium, high, very high, super high, and mega high. And then gust range, which is how far the wind will go up. Like basically how far up the wind will reach, which it's at 15 meters, so all the way up to there. Or I can do 3 meters, which is like low, like that. If you could see, like, I was a lot closer to it before the boost affected me. And then there's minimum knock-up percentage, which is like 30%. And if I'm like all the way on the edge or something, it won't knock me as high. Or, hold up. Basically, it's like different angles affects it. On different areas you step on it affects the percentage. But if you have 100, no matter where you step on it, it's going to knock you back the same amount. And then there's enable when receiving from, disable when receiving from, activate when receiving from. And yeah, and these are both basically the same thing. They've got the same settings and everything, but it's and they basically, it's like pinball. And there's knockback. We'll just do like mega high, right? And I can bounce off the sides of these ones and the top. I can do fall damage, and the damage when I touch it, like this, does 1 now. It goes from 1 all the way to elimination, I think, or no, 5,000. Reset time goes from 0.25 to 10 minutes. Allow side bounce lift, like, and then there's, where are we? Enable that game start, score value, object direction, bumper color, allow top bounce, enable when receiving from, disable when receiving from, activate when receiving from, when activated, transmit on. Yeah. And then this, you can make like objectives, stat to track, channel, eliminations, or eliminated. And we'll just do eliminations, then target value, like 1, team value, or valid team, any assign on game start, yes. Sharing, individual team, or all. Target team class, or target class, weapon category, which goes from pistol, SMG, shotgun, rifle, sniper, grenade launcher, rocket launcher, bow, melee, stuff like that. And then when target is reached, winning team amount to change on receiving signal, show on HUD, tracker title, description title. We'll just say this, like we'll do objective, and then that way I can, it like shows it as a challenge, like it shows that it's a challenge. And then the description text, we could do something like get an AR kill or something, and that way it will tell you that you need to get a kill with an AR, and then something like that, right? Like then we go up to the weapon category, we do assault, or a rifle, assault rifle, like that. And then it only counts if I get a kill with an AR. And then there's show progress, tracker completion ceremony, self eliminations count, ceremony progress when receiving from, decrement progress when receiving from, I don't know how to pronounce that, assign when receiving from, remove when receiving from, complete when receiving from, reset progress when receiving from, assign to all when receiving from, remove from all when receiving from, increase target value when receiving from, decrease target value when receiving from, one complete, transmit on. You want to put it like in the door when it turns blue, and it allows you to lock doors. And then there's initial door position, open or closed, visible in game color, starts locked, unlocked when receiving from. And there's lock when receiving from, open when receiving from, closed when receiving from. And then for the conditional button, this will just basically allow you to say, it will allow you to like find a certain item and you bring it, and then you can use that item to either unlock doors or something like that, right? Say I need to find a mini or something, you drop it in, and then it knows I need to find that. And a timed objective works for like search and destroy maps and stuff like that. Just choose the time relabel, hologram until activated, visible during games, stuff like that. It's really just kind of self-explanatory. Then capture item spawner, which is the item, you can use this to spawn a item that you need to capture the capture area. And then like you just drop what you want in it, like the flag. And then when the game starts, you can just pick it up, and then you just bring it to this, and you drop what you need in it, which would be the flag for me. And then that way it knows that I need to pick up the flag and then bring it to here. And then you can just choose what team starts and what team is allowed to bring the flag to it, stuff like that. I leveled up. And then there's an objective device, which you can choose the health and the owning team and blast radius. Basically this helps for like things like if you need like a escape room or something, you need to like shoot it or make it invisible, right? Say on the top of this flag, we'll just say, pretend this is in some sort of map, right? Put it, just resize it and put it on top of this. And we'll just say it's an escape room, you need to figure out what you need to do. We'll just say pickaxe it, right? And that unlocks a door or something. It's kind of like something like that. And then there's, or you can try to, like, put the health to 1,000 or something like that. And then, like, one team has to defend it while the other team tries to break it. And stuff like that, you know? There's class, designer, which is, like, you choose how much health they have, and there's a lot of settings, so I'm not going to go over it. But whether this team has instant reload, infinite ammo, movement, multiplier, max shield, starting shield, stuff like that. And then the class name, class identifier, you put it for 1. And then this one is class to switch to would be 1, because that one's 1. And when you step in, it's going to switch you to that class. And yeah. And there's the volume for the thing and stuff. And then this is round settings, so you can customize, like, if you keep your items between different rounds and resources, and reload and restock weapons each round and stuff like that. And then respawn player on class reset, stuff like that. And then we'll start with the basic one. This will start a single phase storm, so that it just starts all around the whole island, and slowly gets smaller and finally shrinks down to right here. And then there is advanced storm controller, which you can use to make one big storm, and then it follows after what the beacon will do. So say I put a couple of these around, right? So like one over there, one over there, one over there. Then the storm is going to go to every single one of these beacons before it closes in on the advanced storm controller. And then this, it basically monitors different channels to know when it's being used, and then when it gets used a certain amount of times, it can go to a different thing, like a different channel and stuff. And then this, you can make it so that when it sees a player, or when a player looks at it, or when it loses sight of a player, then it can transmit on certain channels. And the button, obviously, is just like when you can choose what the text says, and the delay and the times can trigger, reset delay, stuff like that. And then like when you press it, you can make it transmit a certain channel. Everything like that is just kind of self-explanatory. And then this, there is triggered by player, which means if I step on it, will it trigger? Triggered by damage, triggered by items, stuff like that. Activate on game phase, which means like will it trigger instantly. There's transmit every X triggers, which is like 1 through 100, which means how many times you need to trigger it before it actually goes to a certain channel. And then there's the delay, reset delay, trigger sound, trigger effects, visible in game, stuff like that. And like when triggered, it transmits on what, and triggered when received from what. And then this is just a barrier, so you choose what it looks like we'll do that or something, right? And like then you can, it's just basically to block people out of areas. And then block weapon fire, meaning like will the, like if you shoot it, will it hit it or will it go right through it? And then zone shape is box, so that if I'm in it, it will like glitch out and stuff like that. You're not supposed to go in it. And then there's hollow, which means if I go in it, it's like this, but if I step out, it's like this. So you see it right there, but then I step out. So it's like, it's good for making one-way like glass. And like I can see in, but the person in here can't see out because they're just blocked in. And then there's like what size it is, like 100, and then like 2, and then I got this giant like thing like that, stuff like that. Or I can put it all to 0.5 and make like a little box like this. And yeah, and then you can also make it disable and enable from certain channels. This is mainly used for like music, tiles, or you can make it like deal damage and like kill people, or you can make it go a certain speed, and then I can do like 1, and then when I step on it, it is super slow. And then you can choose the length, which goes from normal, which is 1, or 0.5, and it goes all the way to 100. And then there's width, height, zone direction, stuff like that. And it's pretty self-explanatory again. You can also make it start sequence when receiving from certain channels and stop them. And there's Mutator Zone, which is when player entering or exiting, it transmits on different things, or if they emote inside of it, like this or something, you know. And that's all in here, and then it transmits a certain channel. You can make it visible or not visible. There, damage volume, that's what it's called. You can choose what teams it will damage, and like if it's visible or not, and the width, depth, height, stuff like that. And the width, depth, and height, stuff like that. And then damage types, damage over time or elimination. There's how much damage it will do, like damage over time. And then you could do like, you can choose the damage over time, and then choose how much damage over time, and then the tick rate for damage over time. And like every 1 second it will do 10 damage or something like that. And then selected team, which is the team that will be hurt by it. We'll just say it like that, right? We'll do team 1 gets hurt by it, and then all, or only selected will, which means only team 1 will get killed by it. Or all but selected means team 1 is the only safe team which won't get hurt by it. And then selected class means the only class and stuff like that. And then shield damage, and it's pretty self-explanatory after that. But yeah, that's the whole device tutorial. If this video did help you, please consider subscribing. It would mean a ton to me because I'm really trying to get to 1,000 to publish my maps and stuff. And if you have any ideas on what kind of videos I should put up next, then you can comment that, because I'm really running out of ideas, honestly. And yeah.